Morning, everybody. Welcome to Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And here you can find answers to your questions and solutions to your problems. Remember, if you're new here, please leave a question and answer a question for somebody. That way we create a very supportive and nurturing environment for everybody that comes here. Today I have with me a being by the name of Master Kuthumi, and we're going to be discussing aligning your mind and your body to your soul. And this is such a beautiful subject. We're going to get into that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, so it's Monday, January the 24th, 2022. And there are so many wonderful changes happening on this planet right now as all of the fear and uncertainty and doubt that's been spread for the last 2 years is now coming to an end. And we're beginning to see humanity awakening again to their true potential. This ascension movement is really changing the order of things on this planet. As people in leadership positions around the world begin to understand that consciousness determines the form and function of matter, we move ourselves into a position of being able to create a very different world for ourselves, not one based on fear and control, which is the old model of the body-mind self. It's not a model of divine, it's not a model of the soul, the way we've been living. Anyway, Master Kuthumi wants to talk about how and what is the process for beginning to align your mind and your body to your soul. It's really important that you understand the distinctions between those three facets of your character, your consciousness, your being. You have a body. Very simple. It's easy to see that you have a body, but the body is directed from somewhere, right? You have this other part of you called a mind that has a collection of thoughts and memories and information, and that's not who you are. Your memories, your thoughts, your information do not define who you are. They articulate the expression as it appears to other people. It is important you understand that distinction, that your thoughts, your memories, your emotions simply define the articulation of your consciousness into a specific expression. That is something you can change. You can change your mind, you can change your body, and you can change the expression of your consciousness through that mechanism that you're living in right now. Good morning. Hi, SJK. It is a brand new, beautiful day. Just going to get into this. Yeah. So how do you align your mind and body to your soul? How do you do that? One of the things you must understand is the nature of your awareness as something that is independently functioning over and above the rule of thought and the rule of body. That is the body and mind that you find yourself inhabiting. And please understand that you inhabit the mind and body. The mind and body do not inhabit you. The mind and body are constructs, one of matter, one of information, and you are a construct of consciousness, awareness, beingness, that is able to deliberately and intentionally orchestrate very precise and specific changes over the conditions of mind and matter when you are awakened sufficiently enough to make the distinction between your awareness as that which is form as body, that which is thought of mind, that which is memory, that which is emotion. As you cultivate the awareness that you are aware of thoughts, you are aware of emotions, you are aware of body. From that perspective of perception, you can begin the process of aligning your body and your mind to who you are, rather than who you are being aligned to the mind and body that the world has given you. Many of you have become subjective and subjugated to the conditions of your body exclusively. Likewise, you have become subjective and subjugated to the conditions of mind and memory as mind and memory were given to you through your five physical senses, through your environment, through your interactions with other humans. You have been given a mind. It is not yours. You have been given that mind that you may adjust, alter, and change to reform your mind into an image of consciousness information that is more supportive in terms of how you would like to express your being in this physical dimension. It gets very exciting when you understand that you as a soul as an awareness, as a being, as a conscious entity, able to make a distinction between thought, emotion, and body, are then in the position to begin a process of what I am calling alignment, being able to align your mind and your body to you as awareness. It must begin in becoming aware of the distinction between yourself as awareness and the thoughts in your mind. There is a clear way to define the difference between the thoughts that you've been given from this world and the awareness that you are observing those thoughts that you have been given, those memories you recall, the experiences that you have had through that body. At that point of being able to make a distinction between those, you find the beginning of what I call freedom, or a realignment of your mind and body to who you are. It begins very deliberately through awareness. You have a body that follows the instructions that you give to it. Your mind, likewise, should be the same in that it will follow your awareness wherever you place your awareness. Many of you believe that your thoughts function independent of you, and you think wrongly that you have no control over them, that they are somehow just running on, that you have no power or control to alter or change thought. And this is the greatest disservice that you could give to yourself, to believe that your thoughts and that your emotions are not amenable to your ability to assert authority over them. The moment you recognize that you are able to assert an authority over your thoughts and emotions, you move into the position where you begin to then align deliberately thought to the nature of who you are. You may choose and alter and select thoughts very deliberately from the perspective of being aware, as opposed to being identified with thoughts as self. In other words, you think a thought about how you feel about something because you experienced something yesterday, and now you find yourself feeling a certain way about something that you remembered, and now you, as awareness, are lost in the thought of the memory and in the emotions of that memory, but you are neither the thought nor the emotions. You are simply the awareness that's allowed yourself to become attached to those thoughts, those memories, those emotions. But in this moment here, at this moment, there is only this moment. There is no before. There is no after. And in this moment, where your awareness becomes awake to thoughts, becomes awake to memory, becomes awake to emotion, you have the position of choosing. Now, many of you struggle in the evenings, which is where you find yourself most often facing the challenges of your mind uncontrolled, often when you lie there in bed at night to go to sleep, and you close your eyes, and there is all of this thought occurring and unfolding, and you think you have no control over it. How do I stop this thinking, you say? How do I stop this? And you simply must realize that that is not you, that those thoughts, those memories, those emotions are experiential information you've acquired from this world through your 5 physical senses. And many of you allow things into your mind that are very disturbing. Many of you allow things to occur in your mind that are very disturbing. And then at night, you do not take the time to take responsibility for clearing that stuff out. You think it is just there, and it is. It has just been placed in there. The moment you begin to assume authority that your thoughts are not who you are, and that you may say to a thought, I release you, I let you go. I release you, I let you go. You may release thought. You may add thought. You may subtract thought consciously and deliberately. But if you choose to believe that you have no control over your thoughts, then you will affect that truth for yourself, that you will have no control over your thoughts. Many of you have ever considered pursuing silence. Have you ever considered pursuing silence? The consideration of silence. Have you ever done this? Can you pursue silence? This is very important, for if you can pursue silence, you can become free. If you pursue silence, you may become free. Wow. The process of, yes. Pursuing silence is the beginning to get free of your very noisy mind, which is only noisy because you're giving it attention. Not many of you give care to what you will allow in your mind. You must understand that your body is a place of sacredness and a sacred space indeed. It is a sacred space indeed. And how often do you find yourself in that sacred space in silence? How often do you find yourself allowing silence? If you want to begin this process of aligning your mind and body to your soul, you must first become aware that you are aware. You must become aware that you are aware, that the thoughts, memories, and emotions stored within the fabric of this biological mechanism is not who you are, that the biological mechanism is the instrument through which you came here to express your creative intelligence in this condition of time, space, and matter. Cultivating silence. You may turn to a thought and say no. You may do this. You may choose to give thought no attention whatsoever. And in so doing, you pull your awareness away from thought. You pull your awareness away from thought. And when your awareness is away from thought, you begin to experience a vibration that we often call freedom. A vibration where you are undisturbed by thought, undisturbed by memory, undisturbed by emotion, but aware of them, just not distracted or disturbed by them. And how delicious is that? That you can simply be aware, like you're a spectator watching a sport in an arena, that you may do the same thing with your mind and observe, oh, this thought is there, and that thought is there, and this memory is that, and I am not that, I am observing this. And from this perspective, the beginning of the realignment of your mind and body to you begins. As you begin to become aware, wait a minute, the thought is not who I am. The thought is something I'm aware of. Wait, the memory is not who I am. It's something I have as a memory in the body. I am aware of that memory. And so the beginning of awareness begins the process of deliberate liberation from subjectivity to mind and body. Simultaneously begins the process of realigning your mind and body to be the servant that you require it to be in order for you to function creatively in this physical dimension. The process of aligning mind and body to your soul must be undertaken consciously and deliberately. There is none on this world that can do this journey for you. There are others that can offer you ideas and information that may guide you, but you must go on the journey. We can offer you wonderful, delicious insights and information, but if you choose not to utilize the information for the journey, then you will find yourself simply going along for a ride that you may not be excited to be on. And there are many people that will give you their version of a ride in this world. What a life is not, what joy is not. Many different versions. But the version that will be most important to you is the one that you cultivate and develop yourself. That you are in a position to cultivate and develop the ride of your life. The ride of your life. Not simply the ride you've been put on by what people have taught you to believe, by what you think or feel is true based on what you've been taught to believe, but to actually cultivate a mind of clarity, a mind that only thinks what is appropriate for you to have it think, to be guided by an awareness that transcends subjectivity to conditions of time, space, and matter. If you understood the nature that a single thought can literally change your life, if you understood that specific imaginings can alter and change the conditions of your body, you'd be far more careful about what you would choose to think or imagine. The nature of emotion is such that it is determined by what you think and imagine. The nature of emotion, which is the energy used to create here, is determined by the nature of what you think and imagine. And where does what you think and imagine come from? Well, most of you get what you think and imagine from the world, from what others have told you, from what you see on TV sets, from what you see in your movies and read in your books. Many of your imaginings are not even of your own choosing. Very few of you actually decide, what will I imagine and think? Very few of you have been afforded that, and your educational systems on this physical planet do not support that process of independent thinking and imagining that would allow each and every one of you the most unique and wondrous expression of yourself that could be available through yourself. Instead, many of you settle for the imaginings of others, the ideas of others, simply losing yourself in the world of other people and their thoughts and their beliefs, rather than articulating the splendid uniqueness of what you are as a spiritual entity, here to articulate your creative expression in this condition of time, space, and matter. This distinction of your awareness from your thoughts, this distinction of your awareness from your emotion, this distinction of your awareness from the body places you in the position, in the driver's seat, if you like, of consciousness, where you can select the thoughts that will direct emotional energy, where you can select the things that you will do with that body deliberately and intentionally. If you consider anything that you think you know at this time, if you consider anything that you think you know at this time, the question I would ask you simply is, from where did that come? Did you choose to acquire that information? Even the language you speak at this moment was acquired from your environment. And there's no judgment on the language, simply understanding that most of what you think you are able to be or do is not based on anything you've actually chosen. It's based on what you've been told to believe. And until that remains questioned, you will continue to live as you've been taught to believe. But at any moment in your process of consciousness, you may awaken and say, wait a minute, these thoughts are not what I wish my life to be as an experience. And these thoughts create certain emotional qualities that affect my body and my expression. And the nature of the emotions that my thoughts generate affect my body very precisely. You know, you're very precise in how you affect your body with your thoughts or your imaginings. And think of all the imaginings that aren't even yours that affect your body adversely. We've already said that when you seek to lie down at night, many of you lie down very restless, often finding alternate ways of trying to make that body force your body to go to sleep because you cannot control its mind, and you damage your body chemically by trying to force it to go to sleep rather than learning how to change and alter your own mind. And this is not a judgment, simply a reality that exists for so many of you that you do not understand, and you've never been taught that your mind is the domain of the soul to orchestrate, not the domain of the world around you, not the domain of another person to control or direct your thoughts. It is the domain of you, your dear soul, to direct, organize, orchestrate, alter, and change the quality of your thoughts, to articulate specifically precise changes in your conditions of matter as you operate creatively through this condition of time and space. You are here to experience and learn through your creative interaction with thought. You are here to learn and experience with your creative interaction with body. This is what you're here to do, to learn to create consciously, deliberately, and precisely your experiences. But how can this possibly happen if you allow your thoughts and your mind to be governed by something other than yourself? If you simply accept what you are being told without question, then how can you possibly come to an understanding that you are free to create a life, to design a creative process that you might delight in? How can that be if you do not question? And so this process of aligning your mind and body to your soul is one that begins with awareness of recognizing the thoughts in your mind that are not yours, that you do not wish to have there. Choosing thoughts and putting them in your mind that you do wish to have there. To begin a process of reconstructing, of rebuilding your temple, if you like. Rebuilding the temple of thought, which in turn affects the body. You must understand that your thoughts and the energy that your thoughts generate, you call them emotions. The energy that your thoughts generate are called emotions. You realize that when certain thoughts generate certain emotions, those certain emotions cause conditions in your body. then it becomes very important to understand the nature of your awareness and its capacity to deliberately select and choose thought, to deliberately release and eliminate thought, to alter and change what is in the system so that the system's expression is altered and changed to be in the image and likeness of that which you choose to be, and not simply in the image and likeness of that which you've told to be. You've been told to think, you've been told to believe, you've been told to consider and weigh certain things, and they affect you. When you lose your subjectivity to your mind becomes your servant instead of your master. And so too do your emotions become your servants and not your master. Very few of you understand the very nature of emotion is the source energy you use for the very act of creation of matter. To reorganize and restructure matter requires an energy that we call emotion. And that through thought, you begin the process of regenerating and manifesting qualities of emotion that alter and change qualities of physical manifestations. This is what you do each and every moment that you have a thought. You are creating a reality in material form. Each and every moment that you choose a thought, you are choosing a creation. And if you are unconscious of your creation, you will be surprised by it. If you are conscious of your creation, you will be delighted by it. If you are conscious of your creation, you will be delighted by it. If you are unconscious of your creation, and that occurs when you've acquired thoughts that you've never questioned, and they have an impact on you, and then you are surprised, why did this happen? Why didn't that happen? One is not conscious and one is. And when you are conscious of your thinking, you will be delighted in your creating. It's important to understand that distinction. And so begin this process of becoming aware of your thought, aware of that body. Begin a conscious and deliberate methodology of establishing silence in your mind, and then carefully selecting and choosing the thoughts that you would be delighted to have as your experience. And they become very conscious and deliberate in liberating and letting go of thoughts that would not give you the delight that you would wish to experience in this physical condition. You are the consciousness inhabiting the form that you are hearing these words through. You are the consciousness hearing these words in the form that you are hearing them through. And you are the consciousness that can alter and change what comes into your mind and what leaves your mind. And from that perspective, you begin the process of aligning your mind and body. You begin that process of aligning your mind and body to you, making them your servant, no longer your master. And this is what many of the great teachers have told you over the years, that your body and your mind are mechanisms for you to utilize in the process of creative expression while in a physical dimension. You are not that body. You are not those thoughts. You are the soul, the spirit of universal light functioning through a finite perspective of being that you call that body. And in this process of understanding what I've said in terms of beginning to align your mind and body to your soul, you begin to create a condition, an energy, a state of being called freedom, where what you will think, so it shall be. There will not be any further question or doubt or uncertainty. And when it is removed from your mind, what else could there be? If you remove all doubt and uncertainty from your mind, what else would you have but certainty? True? Would you not have but certainty? If you removed all doubt and uncertainty from your mind, you'd have but certainty. Then you can be certain that you can create the life you choose. Be mindful of what you will allow in your mind from this world. Be very diligent in what you will allow into your mind. Turn off anything that would give your mind, fill it with harm. Turn anything off that would put harm and sadness or pain in you. Release it all. Release it all. Release it all. Release it all. Release all that stuff from your mind and from your world. You do not come here to be a servant of the world. You came here to be a creator within the world, a creative contributing consciousness, creating deliberately and adding the great expression of life in this physical dimension, consciously and deliberately. Wow. Thank you, Master Kuthumi. I really appreciate this. Question from Diane. Do our lives connected in past, present, future talk to each other? Great question, Diane. And yes, I've been told yes. You as an awareness are not bound by the timeline of the biology and mind that you have. In other words, the moment that body was born and it started getting a mind constructed, yes, you as awareness, when you become independent of the body and mind as an awareness, you are free to move your awareness to any point of time and space before and time and space yet to come. The moment you become aware that you are independent of mind and body, you may move your awareness into the time before and the time to come from the perspective of awareness. The difficulty that some of you would have in doing this is that you believe that you are that body and that mind, and therefore you are entrapped in a localized perception of time. But if you come to the understanding that you are not that body, that you are not that mind, that you are awareness that can function independent of it, then you may go back in time to a place where there was great suffering, and you may alleviate that suffering from your mind and body. Even now, you may do this. You may remember a time you suffered when you were 6 years old, and you remember that time right now, and you go back to that point at 6 years old, and you can liberate the suffering from that consciousness. You can be there and say, I'm with you, you are safe, you are healed, you love you alone, your future will be beautiful. You can alter and change the conditions of that, what you call a timeline, so that the experience of now changes accordingly. You may alter the past and alter the present. You may alter the future and alter the past. You must understand, you are not bound simply by the information in your mind or the conditions of matter that you call your body. Wow, great question, Diana. Thank you. Remember, guys, if you see a question, answer a question, leave a question, and we'll answer a question. I get to all comments. I'll answer everything afterwards when I have time. So please leave your questions for other people, but also answer somebody else's question. Offer your information. Make this a really strong community, right? We got to help each other. This ascension process requires that we elevate everybody up. Question from Heather. When I get in the shower, I think my day over. How can I stop the negative energy from affecting me? It takes a toll. Please ask Metatron what he sees humans attack me out of nowhere. I don't know who this is, but it's not Metatron. But the statement I'm being told right now is you must learn to understand the nature of what you are in the present moment. If you choose to allow your mind to function independent of you, it is not much different than allowing a horse to run free with no rein. You are simply sitting on the wagon and the horse is running crazy. You must simply turn to your mind and say, shh, be still. Be still in love, be still in joy, be grateful. You must train the mechanism of mind to be in the present moment, to be in alignment with the vibrational nature of what you wish your experience to be. Many of you let your mind run on thinking it has real value in doing so. It has no value in letting your mind run on by itself, unless that mind is aligned to love, unless that mind is aligned to joy, unless that mind is aligned to happiness. You do not want your mind to run on in fear. You must teach your mind to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful. You must teach it this. And delight in the moment. And the moment will string together like beautiful pearls and create beautiful moments. If you're in a moment delightful, and you're in a moment delightful, and you're in a moment delightful, you will create more and more of these delightful moments. But to establish this vibration of peace, of being in joy in this present moment, you establish this to become your reality. And so when you find yourself in the shower next time, do so in the joy of being in the shower. And let your attentions go nowhere else but the joy of being in the shower. Every movement, every sensation of the water, every consideration, let it be joy. And you will string joy together like pearls into the future of your lifetime. Wow, thank you, Heather. Great question. Question from Reflection. Can I please have a message on my current romantic relationship? Should I stay or let them go? Thank you. I don't know who this is. This is a female consciousness that works with you. She's not a guardian angel, but she actually guides you. She's a friend from somewhere. She's not informed, but she's a friend of yours from somewhere. And she's saying, stop being so indecisive. Do not wait for them. Do not wait for them to decide for you. This has been an error you make quite frequently, waiting for them to decide for you. She's asking me to ask you what would make you truly happy. What would make you truly happy in this? This is the way. You have your own answer, but you must ask yourself the question: what would truly make me happy? Thank you. Wow, I like that. She's got red hair, by the way. I don't know. I just threw that out. She's got red hair, very curly. Question from Adam. Can you ask Archangel Metatron on how exactly is mind utilized in the process of the creation of reality from all the planes of existence, from the mental plane throughout all planes to the physical? He's saying you must understand the nature of mind as you're referring to it in this context refers specifically to the creative process in this dimension. If you are seeking to understand your question differently from the perspective of what you are as awareness, then the process of creation is limitless. The process of creation is very deliberate from the perspective of soul. If you are choosing to use this dimensional element as a reference point for what you will view the rest of the universe and creation from, then you will simply use this reference point and color everything with it. To completely differentiate yourself from the localized consciousness that you find yourself in that physical body and in the content of that mind, if you break the localized consciousness, you move your awareness up and out of this dimensional perception. That is, you do not perceive through the senses of the body. You do not perceive through the information of that mind. You move to an information of consciousness that embraces the full local nature of the quantum field as it integrates simultaneously into a single point of being. Please understand this. You cannot perceive multi-dimensions of reality if you are attached to but one. You must literally disengage from a localized point of being, where you become an unlocalized quantum consciousness, where you can then perceive or shift your attention from one dimension to another, from one frequency to another. But you cannot do this when localized to a specific point of time and space. You cannot be, in that context, in two places at once. In the context of liberated consciousness, where you are not localized to a point, you have a choice of many places to be simultaneously. And there is a level of consciousness that you can connect to that will allow you to perceive multi-levels of consciousness simultaneously without distraction by either. Wow, great question. Someone's asking, how can I prevent AI from reading the images in my mind? Can you disconnect me somehow? Thank you. He's giggling. He's saying, no, you have. And please understand, if you've heard what I've said, you already have the capacity to disconnect. The nature of your awareness is that you may localize your consciousness to that body mind, and you may not. You can hang up, literally. You can move your awareness out of mind. You can have a clear mind and establish that only what enters is what you wish to enter. But there's nothing that comes into your mind unless you request it. So these images that you are receiving are simply a request in response to something you've requested. Please understand, you as awareness will creatively express and attract anything and everything. Go to that place of silence if you wish to be at peace. Go to the place of silence in this moment. There is only your being there. All else is around you in that place, but in the place of silence, you begin to become free. And in the place of silence, you may invoke creativity. In the place of silence, you are free. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Question from Rudi. There is pain on my right side of my stomach. What caused this? Should I see a doctor? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, there's an emotion that you're holding there. There's an emotion that you're holding there. That emotion and the experience that caused it is localized at that point in your body. There are two things you need to do. That emotion also causes you to eat certain foods, to drink certain things, that maintain the condition of that emotion so that it can be corrected. The discomfort there is related specifically to a very precise set of events that occurred that you have not resolved, that you still hold on to the pain from this. Release the pain of your emotion to release it from your body. Release the pain of the emotion to release it from the body. You must understand, each of you stores conditions of emotion in very specific places in your body. Be willing to release the emotion from the body so that the pain will leave it. It will heal. When you take the burden of suffering off the body, it corrects. It is designed that way. Your body is designed to correct as equally as it is there to let you know something is not correct. Do not judge your body, for it simply is letting you know that something needs attention. And you may choose to pursue what you call medicine to find the resolution for this, or you may choose to liberate the emotion from your body that maintains it. The choice is yours exclusively. You are a creator. Got time for one more question, guys. Question from Kelly. In meditation, I am seeing beings with eyes and there are spiders coming and going. Is there a meaning? Only in you. Yes. Yeah. Again, I don't know who this is, but it feels like this is a male being that you've got working with you. They're saying it's important you understand to differentiate between the symbols that your mind interprets the energies you're receiving. Be mindful that your mind is providing you with the symbols, the creative symbols that you're receiving as these images. Go to the sensation of the images and not the images themselves. The sensations that the images provide will lead you closer to the truth of their meaning, rather than the meaning that your mind would assign to these energies. Wow, I get that. Thank you. Wow, what a day. Remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers right now. We're at 1,834. So if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so you know when we come live. Now, this coming Wednesday, January the 26th, I've got Master Jesus, and he's going to be discussing the world as a device for healing. The world as a device for healing. That's going to be Wednesday, January 26th. On Friday, January the 28th, Archangel Raphael is going to be discussing the concept of healed healers. Healed healers. I'm really excited about what's going to be like. Also, for those of you that are former students of ours, I want you to know, many of you have been requesting when we're going to be bringing the 104 out. The 104 will be starting February the 5th, 2022, the orientation. So go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and register for the course. Now, we've set a limit of 50 students can take the course, the first 104 course that will be initiating this February the 5th. Also, towards the end of February, our Mediumship 101 program begins for beginners, and that's a program where you begin to get the basic fundamental steps in place about how to become a medium for information, how to open yourself up as a conduit for receiving guidance, information, and inspiration to receive for yourself or to share with other people. Everyone on this planet has the potential to be a medium. We all receive and are connected to an infinite source. It beats your heart right now, beats my heart right now. The beginner's course allows you to tap into, become aware of how to align yourself to that source, to become aware of it, and start to pull in information that's outside of what you currently know. And again, I encourage you to go register for these courses. They'll really take your life forward in a whole new direction. And I think that's it for today. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Thank you for your support. Remember, if you see a question, answer a question. Leave a question. We'll answer the questions. We will answer and get to all comments on this. So have yourselves a wonderful, joyful day. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday with Master Jesus. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.